Tommy, talk about evaluating the quarterbacks from a mechanical and mental aspect at this point.
First 2 days mechanically I thought pretty smooth. Mentally they know what we're doing. So that part, there's nuanced things that we're going to continue to push. We're going to continue to challenge them. We put a lot on our quarterbacks' plates, and a little bit of it is to learn as we go through camp what we can and can't do with them. And, a little bit of it is, hey, this is what we're striving for. But, I've been pleased mentally and mechanically how they've come to work the first 2 practices. We've put them in a challenging position for 2 days, being in the low red, and that's not an easiest area to execute and be really. There's not as much field space, obviously, but I thought they've understood when to take chances, understand when to put it down, and pleased with the first 2 days.
Follow up, where have you seen the biggest improvement by all the quarterbacks, and what areas?
Yeah, I would say, just start with Ty's calmness, just his ability to be out there, kind of play within the system, run the show, all that, is a progress through spring, and, we didn't ask him to do all that last fall, so to see where he's come there has been really positive. I would say Drew is to the point now, 3rd year in the system, there's not a lot out there that's going to surprise him. And, you always wait for that moment to hit as a quarterback matures in your program. And I think, that's something that he possesses now. Steve's a guy who he's got some innate ability to play within the pocket, play with calmness, and you see that throughout some team periods. I think his biggest hurdle is just the consistency mentally and being able to play in and play out, stay within the system, stay within what we're trying to do. He's a freshman, right? He's getting a ton of reps as a freshman, so that's part of it, but we're going to continue to push him. And, Ronnie's been really good supplementary to all the guys. Ronnie, he's grown in the offense. He knows it now like he needs to. He can be helpful to guys when they need it, and when he's had opportunities to throw the football and have some reps, he's done a nice job.
Is there an aha moment that you're waiting for to name the starting quarterback? Are you close? Do you have an inkling? How close are you?
Yeah, I don't think there's an aha moment, right? I think it's got to be a culmination of work, right? It's not going to be, this happened today, there we go, right? This is a 9-month evaluation process that we're going through, right? And so, for us, it's going to be the total body of work and the consistency at which guys prepare and practice at. And the guy who said it all, the guy who makes the best decisions is the most consistent, that's who's going to play.
Tom, I apologize if you answered this already, but what's the difference maybe from this quarterback battle this year versus last year in camp?
Yeah, I think last year you probably had 3 guys that you're all kind of evaluating. I think Tyler showed early he can do something for us. How do we design that? I think the biggest difference is there was a big experience gap between Jack and the other guys, right? Jack had played in however many games at Wisconsin, and he had some of that experience going in, so you're dealing with a 22-year-old, 5th-year senior who's been through a lot of battles. That's different than having 2 younger kids that are, they both played, but they haven't played 2 seasons of football. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, and that's not a negative. It's just the difference between where Jack was at as a 5th year versus these guys as a 3rd and 2nd year player.
And then for each Tyler and Drew, maybe how much has their game improved from this time last year to this point right now?
Yeah, I think it's more about the volume at which they can handle, right? They're so much further along, and again, the nuances of the system, doing the little things, adding stuff to their plate. They're not package players, or they're not given a portion of the offense. The biggest improvement is just the ability to really say, okay, here's everything, and let's go operate.
Jaden and Tobias seemed to have good days yesterday.
Say that one more time.
Jaden and Tobias had good days yesterday. It looked like. What do you kind of like about their games and their progress over the summer?
Yeah, Jaden's been, through the back half of spring until now, he's done a really nice job as a guy that, we need to depend on. And, he needs to come with that every day. It can't be high one day, low the other. The consistency for young players is often what needs to happen. Tobias is, very talented. He's a raw player. He's a young kid, but he has shown the ability to have talent. But even more so, he's worked really hard through the summer. Not an early kid. Came here in the summer. He's picked up the offense. He's worked hard, and he's put himself in a position to go out there and make some plays for us. And a lot of credit to him and our staff for getting him ready to go.
And what has allowed you to develop a healthy dynamic between your quarterback room, despite the competition?
Yeah, we've had it. Since 2018, right? We had it with Brandon and Ian. We had it with last year with the 3 of them. We have it. I would love to sit up here and take credit, but those guys are great kids, and they're very selfless, and they're guys that put the team first, and they're friends in their own merit off the field, right? And so, when you have that, I'm fortunate. We've had the right kids in here that put others before them, and The only thing we try to preach is just to understand that we want to view our quarterback room as a unit, and we talk about unit strength all the time, so we have shared success, right? Drew goes out there and makes a good play, Tyler's the first one next to him. Tyler goes out there and makes a nice play, you're going to hear Drew from the side. Like, all those things are important, and like I said, that's more of a tribute to those guys and their character.
With the return of Coach Easton and how good this offensive line unit could be, how does that open up what this offense could do this year?
Yeah, I think anytime you're good up front, it allows you to have success. I mean, I know that sounds elementary, but I've been here with really, really good offensive lines. Last year we worked through it, and we got to the point by the end of the year we were a really good offensive line. And so, I think when you have a strong foundation at the top with Coach Easton, you have a great group of players that are hungry and wanting to get better. I think it opens up, the ability to not only run the ball but also protect the quarterback. And when you have that balance, it really opens up what you can do when you're not really hamstrung by anything.
What's the difference when you mentioned the experience level difference between Jack and obviously these guys this year? For your responsibilities of being a quarterback coach, but also the offensive coordinator, you have to spend even more time with the QBs and less time with other units because you don't have that reliability of a very experienced guy like Jack or obviously even before that.
Yeah, I'm not going to change how I coach, right? Like, I would say a lot of my time goes to the quarterbacks, right? Like, that's one of my primary jobs is to coach the quarterbacks. I don't want to have, I don't want to ever lose that, right? And so that's really important to me, and that's something I take a great deal of pride in. I still touch the other position groups, throughout practice, but listen, we have a great staff, and I want them to be empowered, and I want them to feel like they have ownership of their groups, and I trust those guys explicitly. So, there's times where, I'll call Zoe over, talk to him, Zeke Carell, talk to him, but my focus right now is really let's make sure that where we're at, we're ready to go, because as everybody knows, the quarterback position is pretty important in football, and let's make sure we get that right.
Between your two quarterbacks, I saw him playing rock, paper, scissors to see who's going first in the drill.
Tyler beat his ass today, yeah. Sorry, I guess I can't swear. Go ahead.
What's kind of the foundation for just having that? Is that just really a tribute to how even this is?
Yeah, we just try to build in competition, right? Like, competitive spirit's one of our pillars that part of the gold standard that Coach Freeman talks about. So every little situation we can have to compete, like, it's individual drill, right? Like, who really cares who goes first in that? But we're just going to build in little ways to have competition and have fun with it, and we're just going to continue to find ways to hone that in. Thank you. Thanks guys.